Everyone believes they love their dog, really love them. We feed them, buy them toys, hug them every night, and say, "Good boy," like it's the most natural thing in the world. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the very things we do out of love are exactly what confuse our dogs the most. Not because you're a bad owner, and not because you don't care. It's because humans and dogs don't speak the same emotional language. What feels like love to us can feel stressful to them. What we see as affection might feel like control. And what seems completely normal to us can actually feel like rejection to a dog. That's the invisible gap in so many relationships between humans and dogs. It's not a lack of love, it's a misunderstanding of how love is expressed. In this video, we're going to uncover 10 common mistakes that many dog owners, including you and me, make without even realizing it. Not to make you feel guilty, but to help you understand your dog better, make small changes, and make sure the little friend lying beside you right now truly understands the message you've always wanted to say. I love you. And if every relationship has a foundation, that foundation is consistency. Mistake number 10 may sound small, but it quietly damages a dog's trust every single day. Inconsistent rules. Today, you laugh when your dog jumps on the couch because, well, it's the weekend. Tomorrow, you yell at them for doing the exact same thing just because guests are visiting. Today, you think it's adorable when they jump up to greet you. Tomorrow, wearing an expensive work outfit, you push them away and get annoyed. You understand the reason, but your dog doesn't. Imagine having a boss like this. On Monday, you arrive 5 minutes late and he says, "No problem." On Tuesday, you're 5 minutes late again, and he scolds you in front of everyone. How would you walk into work the next day? Stressed, defensive, constantly wondering which version of your boss you're going to meet. That's exactly how a dog feels living in an inconsistent environment. Dogs don't understand, "Today I'm happy" or "Today I'm tired." All they see is a leader who is sometimes calm and sometimes unpredictable. And when they can't predict your reaction, they don't feel loved, they feel uncertain. Because to a dog, love isn't indulgence, love is clarity. It's the same rules every single day. When you are consistent, you're sending your dog a powerful message. With me, you're safe, because the rules don't change with my emotions. And when we talk about safety and the feeling of being protected, we have to mention something that may sound a little ironic. Sometimes the hug you give your dog doesn't mean what you think it means. Mistake number 9. Hugging your dog too tightly. For humans, hugging signals control. It's a gesture of dominance, sometimes even the beginning of a confrontation. So when you tightly hug your dog, you might feel overwhelmed with love. But many dogs feel something very different. They feel restrained, like their escape route is blocked. If you look closely, you'll notice the tiny signs, the whites of their eyes showing, their ears pulled back, their body becoming stiff. They don't bite, they don't fight back, they simply endure it because they trust you. And real love isn't forcing someone to tolerate the way you show affection. Sometimes a gentle scratch behind the ears or quietly leaning your shoulder against them is already enough to say, "I understand your language." And once we learn to respect their body language, there's another mistake that's even quieter, but just as heartbreaking. Mistake number 8, being present but absent. You're at home. Your body is there, but your mind isn't. You walk through the door, say a quick hi, pour food into the bowl, and then disappear into your phone. Messages, social media, one more episode, and then another. Meanwhile, your dog lies on the rug, quietly looking in your direction, just waiting for a single glance. For you, it's time to relax. For them, it's a long silence. Dogs are pack animals. Connection isn't a reward for them, it's a survival need. When you're physically close but emotionally distant, they don't understand the concept of being busy. They only feel the distance. And that distance can feel a lot like being abandoned inside their own home. You don't have to play with them for hours, but even 10 or 15 minutes of complete attention, no screens, no distractions, can change their entire day. Look into their eyes, say their name, let them know that you're not just there, you're there with them. That kind of full presence helps a dog feel like they truly belong to a pack. But there's another mistake that can shatter that sense of safety in just a few seconds. Mistake number 7, using the crate as punishment. When used the right way, a crate should be a refuge, a private room, a small den where a dog can slow their breathing after a day full of stimulation. It should be a place associated with calm, comfort, and quiet. Now imagine this. Your dog chews up one of your shoes. You get angry. You grab the leash, push them into the crate, and slam the door shut. Your voice is louder than usual. Your heart is racing. The air feels tense. You think you're teaching a lesson, but your dog learns something very different. The safe place has just turned into a prison. Try putting yourself in that position. If every time you made a mistake at work, someone locked you in your bedroom and yelled at you, would that room still feel like a place to rest? Or would it slowly become a source of anxiety? A crate should never be a jail. It should be a place a dog chooses to walk into, not somewhere they're forced. A tool meant to protect them should never become a weapon for discipline. When a place of refuge turns into punishment, a dog's sense of safety begins to crack. But sometimes that crack doesn't come from a raised voice. It comes from something much quieter. A small frown, a subtle rejection. Mistake number 6, discouraging natural behaviors, like licking. You've just applied hand lotion. You're watching an important scene in a movie. Then that wet little tongue touches your hand. Your reaction's almost automatic. Hey, stop. You pull your hand away. You frown. Maybe you even say, that's gross. From your perspective, it's just about hygiene. From your dog's perspective, it's rejection. Licking is a calming signal that begins when they're just tiny puppies. They lick their mother to ask for food, to show submission, to create connection. And even as adults, the behavior still carries that same meaning. It's a very simple message. I trust you. I belong with you. Dogs don't understand expensive skincare or bacteria. They only understand that their attempt to connect has just been pushed away. You don't have to accept that kiss every single time, but instead of brushing it off abruptly, try gently redirecting it. Let their nose touch your hand for a second. Smile at them, so they know their affection was noticed, not rejected. When an attempt to connect is misunderstood, distance begins to form in very quiet ways. And there's another kind of distance that's just as common, one that comes from the thought, this should be enough. Mistake number 5, not taking your dog for walks because you think a yard is enough. A big backyard looks ideal. They can run around, they can lie in the sun, they can entertain themselves. But try putting yourself in that situation. If you were confined to the same space every single day, no matter how big it was, with no books, no news, nothing new to discover, how would you feel after a few weeks? For dogs, a walk isn't just exercise. It's their morning newspaper. It's the chance to smell new scents, to gather information about who passed by, when they were there, and even what kind of mood they were in. A dog's brain works best when it gets to explore. A dog that only circles around the backyard may not be physically tired, but mentally, their world slowly becomes smaller. Boredom isn't loud. It builds quietly, and one day it shows up as destructive behavior, indifference, or bursts of overwhelming excitement. A short daily walk reminds them that the world is bigger than the yard, and that when they step outside, you're exploring it together as a team. Stepping out into the world together helps a dog feel like they're part of a team. But out in that very space, another mistake becomes easier to make than ever. Mistake number 4, yelling at your dog in public. Picture this. You're at a park. There are strangers everywhere, new sounds, new smells, constant movement. Your dog's brain is working at full capacity. Their heart is beating faster. The stimulation is intense. And then they bark or jump on someone. You feel embarrassed, so you raise your voice. Maybe you even jerk the leash to teach them a lesson. In that moment, you believe you're restoring order, but your dog feels something very different. To them, the world just became even more dangerous. Dogs may not understand the concept of embarrassment, but they feel pressure very clearly. Being yelled at in a crowded place can feel like being pushed out of the safety circle at the exact moment they need you most. Instead of becoming their anchor, you become part of the chaos. Think about how it feels when someone criticizes you in front of a crowd. Your throat tightens, your confidence collapses, your willingness to try again disappears. Effective training requires calmness. If a mistake happens in public, guide your dog out of the situation with a soft voice and steady breathing. Protection builds trust. A raised voice breaks it. Trust can be damaged by a single shout in a crowded place, but it can also slowly fade in another way, when the good things become taken for granted. Mistake number 3, not praising your dog enough. Think back to a typical day. How many times did you say, no, down, stop? Now try to remember how many times you said, good job, well done, good dog. When dogs do the right thing, our silence often feels normal to us, but to a dog, that silence isn't neutral. When they quietly lie on the rug while you eat dinner, that's a choice they made correctly. When they walk past a cat without barking, that's a small victory. When they wait for you to open the door instead of rushing outside, that's self-control worth noticing. If the only time they receive attention is when they make a mistake, they slowly begin to believe that attention only comes from doing something wrong. That feeling turns into hesitation, and hesitation slowly becomes a lack of confidence. Praise isn't just sound. It's a signal that says, I see you trying. A small treat can feel like a celebratory high five. A warm compliment can feel like a paycheck for the soul. And when a dog feels they're doing something right, they'll want to do it right even more. When a dog feels like they're doing the right thing, they begin to blossom. But there's something that can slowly extinguish all of that effort: prolonged loneliness. Mistake number 2, leaving your dog alone for too long. You have a job. You have responsibilities. There are traffic jams, overtime hours, and schedules that pile on top of each other. You understand why you come home late, but your dog doesn't. They don't know what an urgent meeting is. They don't understand what a deadline means. They only know that the door closes and then time stretches on endlessly. Dogs are pack animals. In the wild, a member separated from the group for too long usually means danger. So when you're gone for 9, 10, even 11 hours every day, their body doesn't interpret that as working. It interprets it as being left behind. At first, they may bark. They may wait by the door. They may run to greet you with their whole world shining in their eyes. But when that waiting repeats again and again with nothing changing, something else can happen. They become quieter. They sleep more. They react less. And that silence doesn't always mean they've gotten used to it. Sometimes it means they've stopped expecting anything at all. You don't have to be with them every minute, but if life gets busy, find ways to fill the gap. A midday dog walker, a play session with a neighbor, because the message you're sending is simple and powerful. I may not be here right now, but you are not abandoned. As you try to fill that empty space in their lives, something even more subtle appears in the smallest moments of each day. Mistake number 1, only petting your dog when you want to. Pay attention to how we usually touch our dogs. When we feel sad, we pull them close. When we're tired, we rub their head for comfort. When we're relaxed, we hug them like a warm pillow. That touch makes us feel better. But what happens when they are the ones reaching out? When you're typing on your computer and a small nose gently nudges your hand. When you're cooking and a body quietly leans against your leg. When you're on your phone and they rest their chin on your lap. Do you pause? Or do you say, "Not now"? Imagine a relationship where the other person only hugs you when they need it, but pushes you away every time you want that same affection. That doesn't feel like love. It feels like being used. Dogs can sense that one-sidedness too. Real connection flows in both directions. So when your dog comes to you, even if it's just for 10 seconds of gentle petting or a soft, loving glance, you're sending them a powerful message. I see you, and your needs matter too.